Hey everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I'm Peter, that is Connor, and we are going to talk about Legion Season 2, Episode 4. It's called Chapter 12. So, full spoilers for the episode as always. Hey everyone, we are Almost Cancelled. We're going to talk about Legion Season 2, Episode 4. It's called Chapter 12.
I knew you were going to do this.
Look, the episode was looping through the same thing over and over again. I was doing a joke, alright? I was doing a joke, people. It's fine.
It's so predictable, though.
Your video's not broken, it's fine. So we ended last episode with David getting to Sid's head. Everyone else had kind of woken up for the most part, and he found Sid on the roof, and he went in, and there was an igloo, it was snowing, all this was going on. And in this episode is, other than one little sort of interlude in the middle, which is not an infomercial, there's no infomercial this episode.
There's not.
It's also a shorter episode than the rest of them so far. But there was one little interlude in the middle of the other characters, you know, Melanie and Carrie, which, by the way, the effect of Carrie coming out, Carrie literally pulling him out of her body is just really surreal. It's a really surreal image.
It is, isn't it? You don't see much like it.
No, it's just a cool little thing. But other than that, and obviously the little bit at the end, which we'll leave for the end, it's all inside Sid's head, and it's David sort of getting like a highlight reel of her life in these like sort of traumatic moments of you know, through her childhood. So because obviously she calls to the igloo, that's kind of like her being born, and then it literally goes to, you know, the hospital, baby Sid with her mother, and then we get like various important moments throughout the childhood, and then well, it's all childhood basically. There's, other than the art gallery where the adult Sid's kind of waiting at the end of each loop, it's all childhood stuff. Whether it's, you know, 5-year-old, 10-year-old, 12-year-old, 15-year-old, whatever.
Yeah.
So, and that's the episode. That is the thing. And basically, much like the previous mazes that were created, David is trying to figure out how to break Sid out of it. And he's having more trouble, to the point where Sid is literally at the end of every loop saying, nope, that's wrong, try again. And we keep sort of looping. The best one of which is when he gives this big grand speech about the importance of love and being together and, you know, the understanding her, and he makes this big grand speech. It lasts a good solid minute and a half, and then she just goes, try again.
I don't know. I for me, the best one's when he doesn't even get to open his mouth.
Oh, she's just no, try again.
That's wrong. Yeah.
No, so it's funny. So this is a really hard one to like be thorough about, because, you know, typically when I pick a plot line and we'll start talking about it, I'll go through it in order. I feel like here we just kind of have to do each like segment regardless of how many times it repeated, because it's actually hard to tell what the order was.
It is, because I know like certain points where, you know, okay, that was towards the end, because that was, you know, okay, that was a big moment. We saw that early on, but they kind of blur together. Because
sometimes the loop would show you these 3 or 4 scenes, but sometimes it would show you 2 other scenes, and then those scenes would only appear in some loops, but not other loops. And, you know, so you have where she's picked on at school by this group of girls when she's younger, but then when she's older it happens again when this guy was trying to kiss her, which I actually thought was really funny, that she kisses the guy to swap bodies and then beats the shit out of the girls and then switches back.
Yeah, just it smacks with, I think, is a lacrosse stick.
Yeah, and do you know what I loved about it? It's like there's nothing about it, because she didn't switch bodies for force. It's not like she couldn't have whacked them just as hard with the stick.
No, it's just so that he takes the blame and not her.
He takes the blame, and to be fair, he deserved it. He was being very forceful. So she, but it's really funny because it's actually one of those things which goes to this wide shot of just this kid like whacking them in the stomach with a lacrosse stick. It's just slapstick almost, the way it's shot.
It was, yeah.
Very flat, very plain, intentionally. You've got that. And so it's funny, early on, so we're seeing her as a kid and she can't touch anyone. She's like kissing the mirror because she can't kiss anyone in real life. She sees the couple at the art gallery. David at one point even mentions, the art gallery is a place you go where you're not supposed to touch the things. So she feels at home there.
Yeah.
And so you have all this stuff. And early on in the episode I was like, are we going to see the scene of how she lost her virginity? Because I remembered that story from season 1, because it was quite a memorable story.
It was, yeah.
Where she swapped bodies with her mother, had sex with her mother's boyfriend, and then switched halfway through the sex, creating a bit of a scene. And, of course, the episode does actually build up to that. We get to that towards the end.
That was the thing. I'd forgotten about that. Like, obviously, as soon as it started getting to the moment, as soon as, you know, he's in the shower, I was like, oh, I know what this is. It just kind of clicked back into place. But I hadn't realised it was building to that beforehand.
Yeah, because obviously the whole episode's about her feeling like being scared of people touching her, wanting to make human contact but not being able to. Because that's one of the things is that is weird and is wrong as the entire situation is when she switches bodies with her mother. Because her mother's like passed out on the couch. When she switches bodies with her mother and goes up to into the shower, and she touches his shoulder, it's the first time she's really been able to just enjoy touching someone. You know, even in just a simple little way. Like she's never been able to, like, because anytime she touches anyone, she just instantly switches. That's it. But this was like, no, I get to actually take in, and she touches his chest and just kind of holds it. And then him thinking it's his girlfriend, you know, just goes for it, and you know, we get this.
No reason why not for his part.
Yeah, well, this is something I noticed though. They did make a point of making us feel like he was a bit of a creep beforehand though, because there was that moment where he winks at her earlier on, before she goes, because there's that scene where she goes to the like the rock concert, it's like a mosh pit, and she's jumping around and just switching bodies left and right.
Yeah, I wasn't sure that was supposed to play as creepy though.
You better?
No. Because it's, you know, she's like, I'm going out, and the mother just doesn't give a shit. She doesn't say, and he winks. It's like, yeah, go on, you know, have fun almost.
Oh, I got creepy vibes.
I don't know. Like, I can see it as creepy. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily think it has to have been like, I don't know. It didn't immediately go, oh, that's creepy.
No, I got creepy right away, and I feel like, yeah, it's creepy, and even if you argue that he's not being creepy, I think from her perspective, she interprets it that way because it's what kind of, in part, motivates the desire to do what she did.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But I also see it as creepy because it kind of like adds to the believability when it does all go down and the bodies switch back. So the mother's back in the couch, he runs upstairs, and he's freaking out because all of a sudden the 15-year-old daughter's in the shower with him. And
John, is there a reason that she doesn't swap with the person that she's touching instantly? You know, when she swaps back.
When she swaps back, so presumably he was still inside.
Yeah.
Maybe there's like a little grace period because she's just swapped back.
Right. I'm just thinking, you know, times we've even seen her, like, you know, when those few times that she has, you know, touched David, you know, kissed David and whatnot. Like, it doesn't last, you know, there's not like a constant loop, like ping-ponging back and forth.
No, it's not. Yeah, right, yeah. It lasts for a while, then they eventually switch back. The actual amount of time seems to be very wildly.
Yeah, like, the one in the school kind of seems like she was in control, right? Like, she beat them up and then jumped back to her own body.
Yeah.
Because it was very short. It was only like 30 seconds.
I think it might depend on the intent of what she was doing when she touched the person. If it's by accident, she might not have as much control over it. Because remember back in episode 1 when David kissed her and it caused the whole confusion of episode 1 before we knew what the powers were. Yeah. Like that lasted a long time, but she didn't know that was coming. That just kind of happened.
Yeah, no, you're right.
And I wonder if that has something to do with like the length of the effect. Like if she actually initiates it, she has some level of control.
Yeah, perhaps.
Or maybe not though, because I mean, arguably she would have made sure it lasted long enough for the sex to finish in the case of this particular example. So,
and I've definitely seen it last longer.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So yeah, it varies wildly.
It does seem to be pretty random.
So, but no, and because I was almost going to speculate that maybe she was switched with him as he was freaking out. But that's why she was standing there all quiet, is because that was actually him just being like, what's going on? Well, I'm horrified. I don't think it was, but I was just for a second.
He's there going, no, I didn't do anything. Yeah. I didn't touch you.
Yeah, he's carted off with the police.
But this thing, like, the mother knows about her powers at this stage, right?
I don't think she does.
No, because I wasn't sure, because, you know, it felt like maybe she did with like the way she was always wearing gloves. It almost felt like an insistence from the mother.
No, I didn't get that at all. I got that the mother just thinks she doesn't want to be touched. She thinks that this is like a phase or a tick or an OCD thing. It's not.
Right. Okay then.
Because this scene would play completely differently.
It would.
Because this scene would be her mad at her daughter for pulling this, not him for.
Right. That's why I was a little like because up till this point I thought that she knew.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
There was a couple of things. It was actually when because actually I love one of the things is the first time in the art gallery I could tell, even though he was vastly out of focus, that it was David who was a security guard in the background. I was like, I'm sure that's David. That's David in the background. He's around watching this. He's in the head. But it's when one of the time it loops back and she's born and like her mother holds her for the first time. David like sort of leans in. Obviously, he isn't heard, but he's like, "Oh, she doesn't like to be touched. She may not want to touch her."
Yeah.
And even though that doesn't actually mean anything to her in the grand scheme of things, it just as soon as he said that, I kind of like it felt like no, that's why. What she's aware of, like throughout her childhood, is that she doesn't like to be touched. It's like a thing, not.
I wonder at what age the power actually kicked in then, because otherwise, in this very scene when she's born, you'd have her swap places with her mother, and that would be weird.
She has gloves from the look of these scenes from about 6 or 5, something like that.
Yeah, it's pretty young.
Yeah. Which does make me wonder about the first time. Like, what was the first time it happened, and how terrified was she?
Yeah. Probably very.
I don't know. But maybe that's why they maybe have a more... Because it seems like quite close when she's young, but then by the time the whole boyfriend thing, they seem quite distant. The mother's ignoring her, she's just paying attention to her date. I wonder if it makes this discontent between them. This thing she has.
It's why I assume the mother knew, because there's all these scenes of okay, the mother comfort her in bed, when she's a young kid, and I assume like one of these times, because there's a time she clearly knows she doesn't want to be touched. Obviously, she puts the pillow over them, but I'm like, okay, maybe there was a time before where they did swap at some point, and that's how she found out.
But the mother doesn't know.
No.
She definitely doesn't. Again, that scene with the pillow, I think that's just she's respecting her wishes because she knows she'll freak out.
Yeah.
Because we see it in that scene where she's like giving that speech to like her colleagues.
Yeah.
And she's behind her and she freaks out because someone touches her shoulder. And I mean, she's wearing like a blouse or whatever that stops it, but she freaks out because she wasn't expecting it. And it, had it been like an inch to further up her neck, it would have triggered the reaction. And her mother like turns around and says, "Oh, what happened?" But she doesn't seem to understand what the possibility there was. She just seems to be concerned that her daughter's freaking out because she's used to her freaking out like this, if that makes sense.
No, it does, yeah.
But that was the way I was reading all that stuff as it was going. And of course, actually, again, one of my favourite things where she says to David, "Oh no, you wrong, try again," is when he actually tries to intervene when she's a kid and she's being bullied by the 3 girls. He's like, "I'm a teacher here, you all piss off." And he sits down and he's like, "Hey, it doesn't work like that. You can't just ask me. Try again." He's
like, "What's wrong?" And she's like, "You can't do that."
So no, and it all leads up to this thing, and it's worth mentioning as well. In the igloo, everything's very fake. The snow's very fake. The fire's just the classic like paper
ribbons.
Yeah, that's like it has wind under it. The sort of thing using like a school play with
a light with some paper ribbons blowing up with a
fan. And she has this whole speech at the end where he's trying to figure her out, and she's like, no, like it's about the pain we went through, and it's like she gives us all about God, how like the sinners are the ones who God favours most because they burn brighter than anyone, so let's burn bright together, and not just like sort of give up and be. And it makes this sweet moment because he's like, "Okay, are you ready to go back?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'm ready now." And then they both wake up and they kind of smile at each other when they wake up, and because I was a little bit worried that when they came out of this, they might actually be in a place where they're not as like connected
because David was having such a hard time understanding.
Yeah. But I like maybe the way that she could read it and the way that I would certainly hope that it would be read is, but he kept trying no matter what. He never gave up.
Yeah.
Then it may have taken him a long time, but he kept trying.
He got there eventually.
Yeah. It was kind of sweet, and it's funny because I noticed there was no FX Presents Legion at the start.
Yeah,
the titles.
I did too.
And then sure enough, right at the end, like we're going around that big semicircular hallway,
yeah.
And it's FX Presents. I'm like, this is the end of the episode. We've got like minutes left here.
Do you know what small touch I really liked? It was the same light effect that from Future Sid's drawing. That was the style of how it was written on the walls.
Yeah, that's a nice touch. And all the soldiers are all like marching to the elevator, and like we see our other main characters also like watching in that direction.
Like, oh, what's going on?
And they're like, what's going on? And you just see like 2 soldiers like bring her in, and it's Lenny. And she's like, "I'm back." Cut to Legion.
Yeah.
So a nice touch. So no John Hamm infomercial this week, but a bit of character deconstruction and dream sequences stuff. I mean, I will admit, I think this is probably my least favourite of the episodes of the season so far. Partly because there's so much of it that is looping over, stuff that we're seeing a lot, and it does have an effect. But ultimately I didn't get a lot of other things that I usually love from this show. So I think it's a solid episode, but it's definitely not my favourite of the season.
Oh, definitely. I wouldn't be too surprised if come the end of the season it's maybe my least favourite still.
Which would be fine, because that's a good low bar to have.
It is.
Yeah.
I did quite like, because he did get the one scene in the middle with the others, and they make a point of saying, no, they're kind of awake now. Their brainwaves are different. So
Yeah.
I'm assuming, okay, that's it. They're in there by choice now, rather than being trapped in there.
Yeah. Or at least she's in there by choice, and he's there. I mean, it's still by choice, but he's there
He's
because
always
she's
there
still
by
in there.
choice, yeah.
Yeah. But he was in there by choice anyway, because he went in.
Right, of course.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying. Yeah, that was a nice touch to say that this is like stuff that she's going through.
She's keeping him in that. She's aware now, and she could get out anytime she wants, but she's keeping it going to try and help him understand.
And you get the sense that a lot of this is brought on from hearing that he spoke to someone or her from the future. Because at one point she even brings it up, the apocalypse, who survives that? Not the lovers, the fighters survive that.
Yeah.
And it's so it's kind of her insecurity and like how she's dealt with various things throughout her life, and maybe she's the strongest she's ever been because she understands herself better than she's ever understood herself before, and so on. So no, so it was a nice episode in that sense, but it was definitely, we were missing the Shadow King, we were missing the rest of the team for the most part, and just the various other things that we have. So it was a solid episode, but definitely.
Yeah.
One that will work really well in a binge of the whole season. I think when we're getting one episode a week, this one's a little bit less.
It's a little less satisfying, isn't it?
Yeah, as a meal. If each one's a meal, this one's a little bit less satisfying.
Do you know what? I found myself really missing the infomercial.
Yeah, I was waiting for John Hamm to start talking somewhere in the middle. Yeah,
I've been really. I think I'm enjoying those more than I realised.
No, that's fair. It's funny. It's making me very aware of when there's red and green because
Yeah.
her house when she's a kid, all the curtains are red and green, and I was it doesn't really. I don't think it means anything because they're both it's red and green. It's a mix, but
right.
Maybe it's just to show that everyone has bits of both in them.
Yeah,
simple as that. Because even at one point, David's like, "Oh, you made all these shitty choices, but that's okay. I made a lot of shitty choices. I'm worse than you. I caused riots."
Yeah. He gives a lot of speeches this episode, doesn't he?
He does. It's basically his thing. This episode is what he can do.
Yeah.
He can't mind blast anyone.
I mean, he could try.
I mean, he could try it, but he doesn't really mind blast Sid, does he?
Well, they can mind blast on it. I mean, we can see he can interact with these memories.
Yeah, but the NPCs, I don't think they've got a mind they can blast.
No, but it'd be fun to see him try anyway.
No, but that was leading episode 4 of the season. So by all means, let us know what you think. Give us your thoughts and theories in the comments. Like and subscribe, all that stuff. Get us on Twitter at mailed_fuzz for channel updates. If you want to support the channel, over at patreon.com/mailfuzztv. You can do that over there, but otherwise that is us. So thank you once again for watching. Keep watching TV. Have we got any vanilla?